Brother John is at war with inflation. Hi, I'm John McNeil, and this is the Invest Strong Network. Welcome. So, inflation in 2021 is running high and running hot. So, the estimates are roughly 5% year over year inflation rate for basic necessities, food, fuel, and things like that. However, for certain other items, financial assets and real estate assets, the inflation has actually been outrageous, right? And I mean, in some housing markets, housing prices have increased between 12 and 15%. It's basically pushing the entry level and poor level of the socioeconomic scale and pushing them out of the housing market. And that's terribly unfortunate. But inflation writ large is having an effect throughout the economy and throughout the personal lives of everyone, including myself. And so I have decided to really do battle with inflation. And this is what I'm doing. Okay. So our inflation now is not similar to the double digit inflation of the 1970s, at least not yet. So, thank goodness we will not uh, be going through that horrid financial crisis again. But even at a middle single digit year over year inflation rate for the next several years, that's quite a markup from basically the last 20 years or so. What can you do? Well, this is what I'm doing. First of all, I am really competing for grocery prices. Now, I'm fortunate that here in Houston, there's quite a bit of competition in the grocery aisles and also amongst even dollar stores. And let me tell you, some of these dollar stores have great deals. Their prices actually even undercut Walmart, and really Walmart is kind of the place to go for everyday low prices. So whatever the case, I'm comparing as much as I can to get the lowest prices possible for my groceries. Now, as it relates to fuel and things like that and utilities, well, fortunately, I don't own a car, so I'm really not that affected by the rate of fuel consumption. However, I am very much affected by the increase in the electric utility and also the water utility rates here in Houston. So, what I have done is here in my bed and breakfast, I try to wash all clothes together, right? And so, my linen, also my guest linen, everything, do it in one wash load if possible, and dry it in one load if possible, right? And that goes a significant way towards reducing both the electric and water utility costs. Now, the single biggest thing I have done recently to fight inflation is to fully utilize all of my financial assets. So I had financial, quite a bit of financial success, let's say, in the last few months, and the cash began to really pile up. The problem is uh, the banks are paying nothing in interest. I mean, literally nothing. Now, last year, around February of 2020, I did a vid about how I had gone online and I had found the Brio Bank savings account. It was operated by Sterling Bank out of Long Island, New York. It was paying a 2.15% in interest, and it was an online only bank account structure. And man, I was as happy as could be with that account. But as the government slashed interest rates, the Federal Reserve did, and things like that, that rate and the rate for other online bank accounts that were actually paying out nicely or at least decently, all of those went straight down. And so, really, by the fall of last year, there was really no sense in having cash in any kind of bank account. Now, up to last year, it really didn't matter that much because inflation was still pretty tame. Actually, prices were being forced lower by the CV-19 pandemic as many companies discounted and cut rates and things like that in order to maintain their business. But now that the economy has begun to recover, the inflation pressures have come roaring back. And so now having any kind of cash amount languishing in a bank account at zero interest roughly is just a terrible idea. So recently I have gone on a very aggressive campaign of putting all of my financial assets to work in an attempt to uh, gain a rate of return that will surpass the middle single digit inflation rate. And basically, I have made loans to my homeowners association, right? And we kind of that's kind of get killed two birds with one stone there. Been able to increase and help the community when they could really use the funds, and also I'm getting a pretty decent rate of return um, on the loans from a very reliable uh, loan source. So that's a blessing, and I've done that to the tune of about $55,000. Yay! Okay, we'll take that. But also, I had other uh, funds still languishing in cash that I have very aggressively begun to invest in high quality stocks, dividend payers, and actually, I prefer, as all InvestStrong viewers know, I prefer the dividend stocks that pay at least 2%. And I actually target between 2 and 5%. And that has I fully utilize all my funds to do that at this point. And really, that's the only way, these ways are really the only ways to defeat inflation as it is right now. One other thing I've done, and now this is kind of a personal thing, it kind of harkens the brother man back to the halcyon days of his youth. But I was a huge gardener when I was a kid, much less so as an adult. Got a lot of other things going on. You know, I hadn't really had a whole lot of time, or for that matter, and a whole lot of land to build a garden on. But in the Second World War, the government encouraged just about everyone, if they had any parcel of land whatsoever, to plant a victory garden. And that would give us the victory over Germany and Italy and Japan and all the other Axis powers, because it would basically free up the farm produce to support the guys out there on the battlefield, right? So to defeat inflation, man, I'm just planting seeds everywhere, right? So if I have a fruit, melon, avocados. Oh my God, I planted so many avocado pits. It's amazing. And peppers, bell peppers, jalapeno peppers, everything. Seeds, give me seeds. And I just, utilize the fruit, slice them up, eat it, and if there are seeds left over, they're going in the ground, right? Now, for most of these things, the payoff will be down the road, especially the avocados. According to the internet, it's going to be between 5 and 8 years before you can get some avocados out of this deal. But hey, let me tell you, at basically 80 cents a piece right now, I get the feeling in 5 years' time, avocados will be way more than that. And this anti inflation garden will really begin to pay off, right? So that's something else I'm doing. And this is how I am fighting the inflation monster. All right. So I hope you found these tips interesting, perhaps even useful in your own life. If so, let me know in the comments. I'd appreciate it. I'll respond to everyone, I promise. Also, smash that thumbs up button. Smash it for the brother man. I need you to do that. I love you. And yes, subscribe. Please subscribe to Invest Strong. I'd appreciate it. Thank you so much. And Good blessings.